Well, it was a much anticipated showdown today between Attorney General Pam Bondi and Democrat discontent over the release and the redactions of the Epstein documents. So they were all ready to go. They were loaded for bear. Gavel came down in Chairman Jordan's Judiciary Committee about an hour or two ago. And, well, take a look at the stirring image of the senior member of the Democrats' delegation of the Judiciary Committee. Jerry Nadler literally fell asleep. No, he's not resting his eyes. He's not a 6-year-old trying to stay up late and watch a movie with mom and dad. He fell asleep. We interrupt this lullaby moment to point out the obvious, but I just want to make sure you're catching it. What put him to sleep? What bored him so much in the middle of his congressional duties in the morning where he could not fight back the Z's? Well, of course, it was the presentation from Jamie Raskin, Democrat from Maryland. As Jamie Raskin's going on and on and on and on, Jerry Nadler was so inspired that he honestly, we kind of live for moments like this. I love that the use of the gigantic visual aids held up by interns behind Jerry Nadler also did not disturb him. Nothing is waking this dude up. After all, Jamie Raskin is speaking. Also, that fantastic video that you just saw with the Brahms lullaby in the background, that was actually put out by the Republican Committee of the Judiciary, just to sort of twist the knife a bit. Then someone woke Jerry Nadler up, and it was time for him to ask the Attorney General some questions. And then chaos.
The Attorney General of my home state of New York, Tish James. This DOJ has been hell-bent on securing an indictment against Ms. James for something, anything, simply because she held Donald Trump's companies accountable for years of financial fraud. And indeed, the department manufactured an investigation against her for alleged, quote, mortgage fraud. But the U.S. attorney leading the investigation, Eric Siebert, a Trump appointee, refused to bring charges against Ms. James because there was simply no evidence. Unfortunately, a prosecutor who refuses to do Trump's bidding has no place in this DOJ, so Mr. Siebert was forced out. Trump could not contain his fury that he expressed to you in a social media post addressed to you by name. I'm sure you've seen it. Quote, I fired him and there is a great case, he wrote to you about Mr. Siebert. Then we moved down. We can't delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility. They impeached me twice and indicted me 5 times over nothing. Justice must be served now. And obviously, you followed that order. Lindsay Halligan, Trump's former defense lawyer who had never prosecuted a case in her life, was installed to replace Mr. Siebert, and it was clear that part of her mandate was to go after Ms. James. Halligan immediately sought an indictment, which a court dismissed because Halligan was illegally put into the role.
I just want to jump in here real fast. So sorry. I just want to correct the record. I suggested before that Jerry Nadler fell asleep because of how boring and listless and completely uninspiring Jamie Raskin's presentation was, and clearly I got that wrong. He fell asleep because he was reviewing his own notes for his own presentation. Honestly, they have one job. They're politicians. They're elected officials. They give speeches. They talk. They debate. You'd think that with 5 minutes, he could just talk and ask questions without having to read a script that some 23-year-old staffer wrote for him. But he can't. And he reads it as if he's reading a grocery list or something. All right. So basically, the entire presentation so far is just Trump bashing, and you do whatever Trump tells you, and Trump is bad. Okay. Now, maybe it's me, because here's the funny thing about it. I would like to ask Pam Bondi some questions about the Epstein files. I would like to ask Pam Bondi some questions about the redactions. I would actually get her on the record on some things. And I'm a Republican. But now we got the Democrats, and all they want to do is bash Trump and make points. And I guess that works for their base. I guess. Doesn't seem like the most important thing at hand. I'm sure he'll get to the Epstein stuff, right?
But your department was undeterred. And not once, but twice, it tried to indict Attorney General James in separate courts. Both grand juries rejected you and refused to indict her. It is practically unheard of for a grand jury to refuse an indictment. In 2016, it happened in just 6 cases out of over 150,000 offenses. And you had it happen twice in the same week, in 2 different courts. That must have been humiliating. And now there are reports that you are continuing to investigate her. The amount of resources that have gone into targeting Attorney General James, months of investigations, multiple failed indictments, is astounding. Since your own prosecutors told you that there is not enough evidence to support a conviction, it's clear that you are going after her simply because she held President Trump accountable and he wants to punish her. And she is just one name on a long list of Trump political enemies that DOJ is reportedly targeting. From Jerome Powell and Lisa Cook at the Federal Reserve to James Comey, numerous Democratic members of Congress, John Brennan, Jack Smith, Democratic officials in Minnesota, Chris Krebs, Miles Taylors, and more. And those are just the ones we know about. In contrast to these politically motivated investigations, grasping at something they can charge their enemies with, we now have concrete evidence of disgusting criminality revealed in the Epstein files. So I really have just one question for you.
All right, we're finally getting to the question, because I was waiting for him to lean forward into the microphone and say, first thing we do is kill the Batman. There is a bit of an Oswald Cobblepot thing going on here, right? I'm not the first to point it out. He is. He's the Penguin. He lives in Gotham City, after all. All right, here we go. It's the big question. It's the big Epstein question. Are you ready? It's going to be a good one, too, because he's all rested up for it. He's got tons of energy.
How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
First, you showed it. I find it.
How many have you indicted?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question.
No,
Your
you're going to answer the
theatrics are
question the
ridiculous.
way I asked it.
Chairman Jordan, I'm not going to get in the gutter with these people, but I'm going to answer the question.
How many have you indicted?
Again, the time belongs to
Reclaiming my time.
The time belongs.
I think it's very interesting.
Reclaiming my time.
I think it's very
Reclaiming my
interesting.
time.
You can
That
reclaim
he
your
talks
time,
about
but
they
reclaiming my time,
indicted.
Mr.
The
Chairman.
president said they
Close the
indicted
clock.
him
Mr.
twice.
Chairman, please
They
stop the
sure
clock
did.
and stop the
he
clock and
indicted-
restore his time.
Okay, here we go with these
Committee will be in order.
theatrics.
The time
Reclaiming my
belongs
time
to the
and
gentleman
reel back
from
the
New
clock,
York.
please.
We will give you a few more seconds. We will do that. But when
Reclaiming
you ask
my-
a question, the witness
question
gets to
was-
answer. You may not like the answer, but she
Right.
gets to
The
answer.
question was, how many of Epstein's...
They don't like
Que-
the answer,
Reclaiming
Chairman,
my time.
because it's honest.
Reclaiming
So
my-
he asked a
Reclaiming my
4-minute
time.
question.
Restore 45
and
seconds to
I am
Mr.
going
Nadler, please,
to
Mr. Chairman.
Answer.
You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch.
I just wanted to pause and point out the fact that a couple of minutes ago when I presented this clip, I believe I did use the word chaos. We delivered. You're welcome. There's a little bit more of it, but I also want to just do a public service reminder that we are in a election year for the midterms, and in case you happen to live in one of the maybe 19 or 20 districts that will actually determine who gets the majority in the House of Representatives starting in January of 2027, just recognize that if Democrats are in charge, this is what you'll get all the time, every single day in your House of Representatives. This. Okay, back to the chaos.
Not on our time. No way. And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, oh, I
anything,
did tell you because we
washed
saw
up
what you did in the
loser
Senate.
Lawyer, not even a lawyer.
Committee will be in order.
Time, and I should get back at least 45 seconds.
We will give you a few more seconds. I
Not a
said that
few more,
already.
45 seconds.
Okay, I'm timing right now, Mr. Nadler. Go
All
ahead.
right.
Reclaiming my time. The answer to my question, how many of Epstein's co-conspirators has she indicted, is 0. You have been the Attorney General for a whole year, and your DOJ fired the lead prosecutor of this case, sat on evidence this entire time, and claimed falsely last July that there were no more leads. It took an act of Congress for you to finally release part of the Epstein files, and when you did, you included personal information about the victims while protecting the names of abusers.
Time of the gentleman
None of
has
the perpetrators
expired.
have been brought to justice, but enormous resources
Time
have been
of the
dedicated
gentleman
to
has
pursuing Trump's
expired,
enemies.
and
It's
obviously
clear
there
that
was-
under your leadership, the Department of Justice
There was
no longer
no
works
question
for American
in there
people. It works
for her
for
to
Donald
respond to.
Trump.
There was literally no question in there. Honestly, what was she supposed to answer the question? I'm not quite sure. I got to say, Jerry Nadler's doing a great job of auditioning as the new host of Abby Phillips' show on CNN, because it's all about ignoring people and talking over them and just making sure that you get out whatever you wanted to get out. All right, now we would like to play the clip of you, because we always like to go into the flashback machine and show you clips of Democrats debate, because you just heard it. It's a key point, and it's a critically important point. You've been Attorney General for a full year, and you have not brought one investigation against anybody in the Epstein files. And it's true. It's a fair point. So let's watch the clip of Jerry Nadler and Jamie Raskin and all the Democrats on this very committee grilling Attorney General Merrick Garland, who went 4 years without doing that. Can we do that? Can we get that clip? Do we have that clip? Kevin, you got that clip, don't you? Weren't we? I mean, that would be the perfect thing to show right here.
I researched for years and I couldn't find anything.
That clip doesn't exist? Wait a second. I thought that they were standing on principle. I thought that this was all about the victims. Are you telling me they didn't care about the victims when Merrick Garland was Attorney General, Kevin? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, good. Let's move on then. Pam Bondi did have an opportunity to respond at one point.
First, he brought up the president saying they indicted me twice. They sure did. They tried to impeach him twice. And you, Mr. Nadler, were one of the leads on the impeachment. I was on the other side. I lived that with you. During impeachment, you said the president conspired, sought foreign interference in the 2016 election. Robert Mueller found no evidence, none, of foreign interference in 2016. Have you apologized to President Trump? Have you apologized to President Trump, all of you who participated in those impeachment hearings against Donald Trump? You all should be apologizing. You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going to have it. I'm not going to put up with it. You know, all they want to do, the American people need to know this. They are talking about Epstein today. This has been around since the Obama administration. This administration released over 3 million pages of documents, over 3 million, and Donald Trump signed that law to release all of those documents. He is the most transparent president in the nation's history. And none of them asked Merrick Garland over the last 4 years one word about Jeffrey Epstein. How ironic is that? You know why? Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over, the Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing.
Hold on. I might be laughing too. What happened just now? What happened? Is she talking to me? Because I'm laughing. So she's in the point. She's making a great point. It's such a brilliant point that I just made it. She's making the point that they never asked Merrick Garland. And she said, and do you know why you never asked Merrick Garland? Do you know why? Because the Dow is over 50,000 right now. Wall Street is, wait, what? I'm sorry, what? Okay, all right, Attorney General Bondi, go ahead. We'll let you make your point. I'm sure you're going to get back around to it. They like to weave a little bit, I suppose.
Great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Mr. Jordan, Mr. Jordan.
Committee.
I mean, I'm kind of asking that too. I'm sorry. I know you expect me to like wear a cheerleader's outfit and wave the pom-poms for everything Trump administration. I do support the administration, but this is pretty bad. She was on a roll. She was on it. Did she get an alert on her phone about what her 401k is doing and that distracted her? Is she Secretary of Treasury all of a sudden? I know I'm the Attorney General, but when you call me up here, you really shouldn't be asking me about, crime and investigations and lawyers and that stuff. You should be asking me about some stock tips. Come on, you're going to lose Nancy Pelosi soon. I could help you out. All right. I don't mean to laugh, but it is a little weird. Am I the only one? Okay, go ahead, Attorney General Bondi. I know you're going to get to a point.
Will be in order.
Mr. Jordan, am I going to get an extra 45 seconds added to my time?
The committee will be in order. The time belongs to the gentleman from Texas. Ms. Bondi, the Attorney General can respond.
Thank you. The Dow has shattered 50,000 for the first time. This is crazy. They said it couldn't be done in 4 years, yet President Trump has done it in 1 year. National median rents have fallen to a 4-year low thanks to Donald Trump. That's why they want to focus on Epstein and our most transparent president in the nation's history. The murder rate, as I said, has plummeted to a 125-year low thanks to Donald Trump. For an unprecedented 9 straight months, there were 0 illegal border crossings at the southern border. That's what we should be focused on. All the great work that this president has done and will continue to do to keep America safe and to make Americans safe.
Okay. She got through it. And I do want to say, knowing how things work at the White House, one of the reasons why a lot of these cabinet secretaries are in the places that they're at and the president really likes them is because they're able to do that they're able to shift a narrative, whether it's on television or at a hearing, and also take that opportunity when the cameras are rolling to promote the good things that are going on in this country right now, thanks to the administration. And there is a lot of good stuff going on in the administration. I'm just a little jarred by how quick that U-turn was made. I wasn't buckled up and ready for it. Zoe Lofgren of California, she made a mistake trying to go after Pam Bondi, and Pam Bondi was ready for it today.
Mr. Chairman, I would yield back.
Gentleman yields back.
May I answer?
Attorney General can respond.
I find it interesting that she keeps going after President Trump, the greatest president in American history. And if they could maintain their composure, this isn't a circus, this is a hearing. I find it interesting she keeps going after Donald Trump. She doesn't say how much money she took from Reid Hoffman, did you? None. And nor did
Mr.
she
Chairman,
post
regular
anything.
order, please.
She
Regular
posted
order.
nothing on her X account,
Gentlelady.
on her Twitter account during the Biden years.
Gentlelady.
And yet now,
there
all
was
of
no
a sudden,
question
she's
asked.
going after
Committee will be in
point of
order.
There was
files.
no
Committee will
question
be in
asked of
order.
the Attorney General. She doesn't just get to speak.
Committee will be in order.
I have a point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Committee will be in order.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Gentlelady can state her point of order.
When a witness attacks,
Not a valid point of order. You got to state.
She hasn't completed her point of order
haven't
yet.
got
Please
it.
let her speak, Mr. Chairman. Let's have some regular order here.
Regular order is you got to state the rule. And she
I am
didn't do it.
trying to make a point of order that the witness,
And what rule are you referring to?
without responding to a question, has attacked me personally. I think it's pathetic that she can't answer the questions and
First
instead
time
is
that
attacking
is not even close
members
to a
of the
point of
committee.
order. The gentleman.
That's not even close to a point of order. I love Jordan. We love Jordan. What happened there was the Attorney General pointed out a very inconvenient fact that Zoe Lofgren, and I would guess probably every single one of the Democrats on that panel, have received money from one Reid Hoffman. Reid Hoffman, didn't he invent LinkedIn or something atrocious like that? He's got huge bucks, and he's been a big supporter of Democrat causes. He's like a mini George Soros. I mean, just as evil probably, but not quite as rich. That's pretty much all you need to know about Reid Hoffman and funding Democrat candidates. I think that's. Oh, there is one other thing. He's all over the Epstein files. Oh, you don't hear that in cable news, do you? Or broadcast news or any of the mainstream media outlets. All they want to talk about is how many times Trump is mentioned, even though a good chunk of those Trumps are, hey, did you see Trump's book? Or, wow, can you believe Trump's president? It's like, I assure you, every single congressman on this panel, if you checked their emails over the last 10 years, they got a lot of mentions of Donald Trump in there too. That doesn't mean they were doing anything nefarious with them. So they want to talk about how many times Trump is mentioned, except for that one moment where Trump was mentioned actually, calling the police in Palm Beach and saying that he'd cooperate in any way to get Epstein because he's such a creep and everybody in Manhattan knows about it, including probably Jerry Nadler. They don't talk about that mention of Trump in the Epstein files. But here's the thing that you do know. Reid Hoffman, the guy that Pam Bondi just mentioned, is a big funder for these Democrats, including Zoe Lofgren. He's all over the Epstein files. And what they're talking about is stuff that I won't even say on this show. Go ahead and look it up yourself. It's gross. It's ugly. It's evil. And they don't want to talk about that. That's why they had a point of order. Point of order. Point of order. Okay, a little bit more here. This might be my favorite clip. We've just spent the last year, or at least 6 months, of Democrats demanding that the Epstein files are released. No redactions. Full transparency. We want every document out there. They never said it when Obama was president. They certainly didn't say it when Clinton was president because, they didn't really say anything when Bush was president. Why is it that nobody in the Bush administration is tied up in this Epstein thing? Have you noticed that? That's weird. They never mentioned it when Biden was president, but now they want every document out. And they spent the last 6 months demanding it, and now they have it. And so what did Congresswoman Jayapal say today? You won't believe it. Watch.
You apologized to the survivors in your opening statement for what they went through at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. Will you turn to them now and apologize for what your Department of Justice has put them through with the absolutely unacceptable release of the Epstein files and their information?
Congresswoman, you sat before Merrick Garland sat in this chair twice.
Attorney General
Twice.
Bondi.
No, can I finish my answer?
No, I'm going to reclaim my time because I asked you a specific question
Attorney General
that I would
respond to your
like
question.
you to answer, which is, will you turn to the survivors? This is not about anybody that came before you. It is about you taking responsibility for your Department of Justice and the harm that it has done to the survivors who are standing right behind you and are waiting for you to turn to them and apologize for what your Department of Justice has done.
Members get to ask the questions, the witness gets to answer in the way they want to answer. The Attorney General can
That's
respond.
not accurate, Mr. Chairman.
Because she doesn't like the
my
answer.
time.
So,
Mr. Chairman,
why
I have asked
didn't she ask Merrick Garland this?
I'm reclaiming my time, and when I
will
reclaim my
continue to
time,
answer.
it is
Mr. Chairman, the gentlelady's
I'm
reclaimed her
not going
time.
to get in the gutter for her theatrics.
The time belongs to the gentlelady. The gentlelady has 17 seconds.
Thank you. You're not going to answer this question, so let me just
Chairman,
say this.
I'll direct it to
What
you.
a massive
No, I'm
cover-up.
answering a
Mr.
question.
Chairman, will you restore her time? The witness is
I'm not going to get in
interrupted.
the gutter with this woman.
Stop the
She's
time
doing
and
theatrics.
let me have my time.
The gentlelady from Washington controls the time. The gentlelady has 17 seconds. You can proceed with your final
Thank you.
17 seconds.
What a massive cover-up this has been and continues to be. Donald Trump made the release of the Epstein files the center of his political campaign because he thought it would benefit him. Then you got into office, Attorney General, claimed to have a client list, only
Regular
to
order.
then say that there was no list. Your deputy, Todd Blanche, met alone with Elaine Maxwell and transferred her to a minimum security prison. And now you continue the cover-up. And I wish that you would turn around to the survivors who are standing right behind you and on a human level,
Chairman,
apologize
Chair now
to
recognizes the chair.
them on what you have done.
Time of the gentlelady
yield
expired.
back.
The gentlelady, you have no time to yield back.
Yeah.
I yield back. You have no time to yield back. Yeah, so now she wants the Attorney General to apologize for releasing the files that Democrats demanded that get released. You can't make it up. By the way, did you also catch that point that Donald Trump made the release of the Epstein files the center point of his campaign in 2024? Boy, what a rewriting of history that is. Honestly, I mean, again, I recognize that, Vice President Vance went on Theo Vaughn's podcast, and when Theo Vaughn said, should they release the Epstein files, J.D. Vance said, yeah, they should release the Epstein files. Yeah, that's not making it the center point of your campaign. okay? I'm pretty sure securing the border and deporting illegal immigrant criminals was the center point of the campaign, and, you know, reviving the economy and, I don't know, maybe making America great again. I don't know. I could be wrong. That could have been the center. But I'd love the Democrats like, oh, you made this the center point of the campaign. It was the centerpiece. It was all you campaigned on. The whole thing was just about getting Trump in the White House so you could release the Epstein files. And now look what you've done. You should apologize for releasing the Epstein files. Ted Lieu from California then went on to repeat a completely debunked lie that's in these files. And that was, by the way, I warned you, one of the problems with releasing everything is that there's going to be a bunch of junk in there, including a completely discredited accusation about Donald Trump. But Ted Lieu of California used the immunity that he has from defamation lawsuits in Congress. Pretty nice that they carved that out for themselves, isn't it? He can say whatever he wants and no one can sue him. And so he decided to accuse Donald Trump of being a pedophile.
Document from a witness who called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center, because I believe you just lied under oath. There is ample evidence in the Epstein file.
Don't you ever accuse me of a crime.
I believe you just lied under oath, and this is all on videotape. You said there's no evidence of a crime. I'm showing you, here is a witness statement who called into the FBI's Threat Operations Center. He drove Donald Trump around in a limo. He overheard what Donald Trump said to Jeffrey on his cell phone. He was so angry, he was going to stop the limo and hurt Donald Trump. And he met a girl who said she was raped by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. She later had her head blown off, and officers at the scene said that could not have been suicide. No one at the Department of Justice interviewed this witness. You need to interview this witness immediately. Epstein should rot in hell, so should the men who patronized his operation. And as we say here today, there are over 1,000 sex trafficking victims.
He supported the president that allowed those sex trafficking victims to be imported across our border with immunity. But can I just point something else out? Because I know we hear a lot about this. What about the chauffeur driver that told the FBI that he heard, that same witness, the same person who came forward and accused that, also accused Hillary Clinton of being responsible for the Oklahoma City bombing. So when we pursue that lead, maybe we can pursue the other lead. Pam Bondi did reply, though.
This is what Congressman Lieu didn't want to talk about. He didn't want to talk about all the crime that is happening in his state. California refuses to honor detainees because of its dangerous sanctuary city policies. The refusal means California has released 4,561 criminal illegal aliens onto its street. The crimes of these aliens include 31 homicides, 661 assaults, 574 burglaries.
All right, so you can see that Attorney General Bondi had a big briefing book there, and she had data and information on all of these Democrat states, talking about how the crime has deteriorated in such a horrific way under their watch and under their party's control. And by the way, it's pretty easy to do because most of the Democrats on that panel all come from California or New York or Illinois or Washington State or Oregon or Maryland. That's pretty much it. And, well, that's where most of the crime is coming from. She wrapped up her statements and her session by focusing on what she thinks really matters here from the Trump administration's point of view, having to do with the Attorney General, federal law, and crime in America.
I've seen some of the worst violent criminals who were in this country illegally. We both know that. And in Memphis, working hand in hand, I want to stick with Memphis and your mayor and what you discussed, because there have been nearly 6,000 arrests as of February 8th, and I think you agree with this, in your district, and almost 600 gang members. What we found in Memphis, a lot of the gangs are local gangs. But 600 gang members were taken off the streets.
Because I've only 40 seconds. I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah.
I thank you for that.
And 148 missing children were recovered by all of us working together, and nearly 1,000 illegal guns were seized as a result of us working together.
I'd like to reclaim my time, too. And yes, Congressman Cohen agreed with Pam Bondi on that. So there, you got a little kumbaya moment. All right. It was chaos. It was frustrating. It was bizarre. It was good video, and I'm glad we were able to share it to you. But I'm also with Jerry Nadler. I'm ready for a nap. But here's the most important thing about all of this. You saw who the real hero was. You saw who really was the champion of the day. You saw the one that had the patience of Job and was able to keep a good nature through all of it. Jim Jordan, how does he do it? Congressman Jordan, yeah, I want to take my jacket off in salute to you, but I don't have the upper body strength for that.